What's going on, people? Hope everyone's doing super great. Good morning, evening, and good night wherever you are. And today we're going to look at how to create booleans using Affinity Designer. Basically how to exclude sections, not using masking, by the way. So I have Affinity Designer version 2 opened up. Now, in case each time the program opens up and you see this, to get rid of this, just click on the show on startup and just cancel it. So next time you start Designer, you won't see that. And so that we are all on the same page, I'm going to go to Windows Studio and say Reset Studio. Most likely, this is what you're going to see. So let's go to File, New, and let's bring it back. That's why they actually have it popped up every time it starts. You can create your own custom templates and store them here, but for now, I'll just go over here and I'll change this to pixels. In fact, it doesn't matter. Let's just create this document so we can just get moving. So booleans in Designer, you can quickly subtract shapes. We're in Designer persona, which is basically the vector persona. I'll hit the rectangle tool, draw a rectangle, and I'll draw another rectangle. So we have two rectangles. I'll make this slightly dark so we can just see these two rectangles. I'll make this one bright. Yeah, we have these two rectangles. Once you do this, I'll hold Control to select the other one. Whoops, I'm on the marquee tool, so I'll go back to the move tool, hold Control and select this. You can hold Shift and select this. Now we have both of them selected. When you do that, if you look at the top here, you can see Add, Subtract, Intersect, XOR, and then Divide. Let's look at Add. If we hit Add, we now have a shape that combines both shapes together. Basically, that's how that works. Let's undo that. The next one is Subtract. It will take away the last shape you selected. Now we have this shape. So let's undo that again. All right, so let's say we have a third shape. So I'll create a marquee shape, make this red. So I'm selecting the first one. I'll go back to the move tool, hold Shift, select this one. And if I do the subtract, it's the first one I selected, that subtract. Let's change the order. So I'll select the dark rectangle first, excuse me, and then I'll select the red one. So I'll hold Shift, select the red one, and I'll say subtract. Doesn't work that way, but that's how we can take away the shapes. Let's see if it will work in singularly. Let's drag this and place it over here. Now it has to be on top, I believe. So this one, we want to take away this one from the one under. So hold Shift, click the red one, go to subtract, and you can see. So it has to be on top. It's not because of the selection order. And you can see we have this selection method. The same works with things like intersect. So this is going to follow that order. Let's say this is intersecting this shape at this point. So if I just do a single intersect, you can see it's not going to even highlight anything because I need to have the shape selected. So I'll hold Control and select this shape, and now I'll go to intersect, and you can see it's just leaving the space left between that selection. So anywhere where it intersects, it's basically lapping here, it's going to just leave this area right here because that's the region that's left. When we do that, if we do that, we should see a shape like this, like that. So select this one, hold Control, select this, hold Shift, select. Let's go to intersect, and boom, you can actually see we have that space left. So where it's intersecting, what's left, that's it. Let's try XOR. Now it's doing the opposite of the intersection, and you can see how this is quite interesting. Let's say we want to create a nice little door here. We'll click on this shape, create this, and just drag the shape like that. Make sure we give it another color, and we just want to use XOR to find that difference here. Select this, hold Shift, click this, and we can try that XOR, and you can see we have this space left. I'll just undo that to see what we have here. So again, if we do that, you can see we have this space left, and you can see how you can use this to create integrate detail and some very interesting shapes. Let's try another one. So now this is a single shape. So let's try creating another shape. I'll create this one, and this will work with a bunch of shapes as well. So you don't need to, we're not limited to just one single shape. So here I'm going to duplicate this, hold shift and move it to the right a little bit, duplicate again and again. Now this is the duplicate special function working. Once you carry out a single action, once you carry out the action again, it's going to basically repeat the same process. So now we have this. What I'll do is to group all these together. So I'll hold shift, click on the first one, hold shift, click on the last one, hit Ctrl G to group them together. Now we have a new group with these objects. So I'll hold the group, then hold shift and click on the shape. We have them selected, and let's try our XOR. Now you can see we have these holes in the regions that are just overlapping within this shape. Any section that's outside, it's actually left this. So you can see how you can use that to create very interesting shapes. Let's try another example. Let's say we have this little heart. Let's just zoom in a little bit, and we'll just go over here like that. So we have our little heart shape. Hold shift, switch to the move tool by pressing V, hold shift, click on this. Now we have both shapes selected. So let's try the divide. We can actually see nothing's happening. So let's try two shapes, separate shapes. This one, and let's try another one like that. That is actually overlapping. So I'll hit the move tool, select both of these, and go to divide. So I need to do a little bit of divide. I hardly use divide, but I believe okay. Okay, it actually it actually it actually worked. You see, so what it does is to take away that shape, leaving the original shape. So you can see we have our tool here, and we divided it from this position here. If we indeed move this shape away, you can see it split this shape into different chunks. So that's what actually happened over there, because you remember we just had two shapes. I'll just undo that to prove that to you. Yeah, so here we had just two shapes. Okay, I think it's the product of the divide has worked already. So good, yeah, we just had two shapes, right? This one and this one. With divide, it's going to split this into 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, it's dividing this shape into various sections, which is actually great if you want to break or split a shape away. And the cool thing is, it's going to give you some new shapes to work with. For instance, if we wanted to, let's go to this heart tool. Let's do the diamond tool. So let's have a nice little diamond here, and we'll just move that away. So we want to just divide this and cut this out so that we have a separate hole in here. So I'll just hold shift, select this, and go to divide. So now if I select that diamond shape, so let's see, let's do this properly. Let's select this, hold shift, select these two, and let's go to divide. Let's move this. Okay, I need to really understand how divide works. Like I said, I hardly use divide. So I think it worked. It worked now, because it actually found a split. It split this and then divided this shape. So that's how divide works. It's very tricky tool. So all these methods are very great, but we notice one problem here. There is a problem. If we cut out these shapes and we need to get the original shape back, we have to actually undo. For instance, this shape has been cut out here, and what happens to the original shape? We've lost that data. So I'll show you one of the best ways I like using this method. So let's say let's look at this shape, for example, this one here. I have this shape on a separate layer. I'll just drag this and place this over here. All I need to do to make this work, and let's duplicate this. I'll just hold Control and drag. That's how you can create a copy quickly without, you know, pressing Control J. Just hold Control. Let's say I want to create holes here, and I'll just pick this nice little rectangle like that, change this color to green, and just drag it over here. So I want to create a cutout of this shape, this rectangular shape, and two hearts, basically a heart door. So I'll hold Shift and select each of these, hit Control G to group them together. Now they are all in the same group, and all I need to do to cut out a shape like this to make it non-destructible is to go down to this layer and hit Erase. This is the most important tool layer to me, actually, because it makes life so much easier. You don't need to worry about, you know, doing all of that. Let's say we want to create a nice little design here that looks like a circle with a rectangle shape. We can just pick a circle, I'll hold Control and Shift to just make it symmetrical, and I'll use the marquee tool to draw a rectangle like that, and I want these to align perfectly, so I'll just make this smaller a bit like that. Alright, that's super great. So I want these to align, so I'll select both of them and go over here. This one, align center, so it's going to align everything in the center. Now that I have this shape, I want to cut out the shape here, so you get what I actually mean here. So this one, and I'll first group them together. So I have a group using Control G. I'll hold Control and drag this to the right like that, and let's make sure this is aligned. So I think Control R will bring our ruler, and I'll drag a nice little line here and a line at the bottom of the first one. So you can actually see we've made a slight little mistake. So I'll just hold Shift and drag this up a little bit, and just drag this to the left. Doesn't have to be perfect. I think this is okay. And then now I'll hold Control and group the group, so we have a subgroup. So this subliminal grouping right here, groups within a group within a group, that's going to work. So all we need to do is just set this to an erase layer. Alright, so now you can see we have something quite interesting, and that's how we can create complex shapes. So you can see what advantage it gives you to create the shape layer. But in case you want to create and extract shapes just like we did here, we can use the XOR to extract that shape, because it's important to kind of like use those shapes for specific designs, right? So let's say we want to create a nice integrate pattern. We'll just use XOR to cut out and keep that shape, so we can use it to create multiple variations of that shape and design. So here, I'll just duplicate this and then just move this around so you can see what I mean, like that. Alright, so hope it was helpful. Hope you understand the most powerful layer in Affinity Designer, especially when it comes to hiding things. It's the erase layer, and then hopefully you've gotten a basic understanding of the Booleans and how you can use them to combine shapes together. So yeah, and another cool way you can use a non-destruct method is just to use groups to group all of your shapes together so that you don't actually lose anything. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.